What's up, guys? Andrew Cooper here, Fantasy Alarm. Time to take you through my first round mock draft, all 32 picks. And guess what? We're going to do it pretty quickly here. We're not going to take an hour. No one has time for an hour video. I'm thinking 10, 15 minutes. Who knows? We'll see. We're going to do our best. You let me know what you think in the comments, whether you like my picks, whether you don't like my picks, whether you don't like my hat, whether you don't like Boston sports here behind me. Let me know what you think. All right. I'm going to go through. Let's get started right now. First team here, Tennessee Titans. No surprise here from me. Cam Ward has been the guy in pretty much everybody's mocks here ever since the combine, where Cam Ward essentially had a better showing in the meetings. I know they didn't really work out, but that seems to be the vibe here. Do I think he's the best prospect in this draft? No. Do I think he's the best prospect at the most important position of quarterback? Yes. So I have the Titans taking Cam Ward. Number two here, I have the Browns also taking the quarterback. I think they take Shedeur Sanders here. We have the luxury of having free agency and everything happen before the NFL draft. And the writing seems to be on the wall based on what the Giants are doing, going out and getting Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. They don't expect Shedeur Sanders to be there at 3. They're figuring out what they're doing at quarterback. The Browns have Kenny Pickett at quarterback. Deshaun Watson's not going to play this year. I think the writing's on the wall that they're going to take Shedeur Sanders here. We'll see what happens. I mean, he could easily be the top quarterback in this class. Number 3, we're going to take for the New York Giants, probably the best combination of being a good prospect and being a good prospect at a premium position in Abdul Carter. I mean, this is a guy that, checks all the boxes besides the fact that he was hurt with a shoulder and a foot issue and didn't really do anything this offseason. But I got to say, a guy like Jeffrey Simmons a couple years ago actually tore his ACL in February, and the Tennessee Titans still took him in the first round, and he still turned out to be awesome. So I'm not worried about these minor injuries now. I think this guy's a superstar, a super stud. I have him going 3 to the Giants. Number 4, New England Patriots. No trades yet in my draft because I think the Patriots also take the best available prospect, a guy that is just the flat out best football player in this draft in Travis Hunter. Whether you have him play corner, whether you have him play wide receiver, I think that he's going to be a lead at least one of those positions and maybe play both ways. And why not have him go to the New England Patriots who have a history of guys playing both ways, whether it's Troy Brown or Julian Edelman or Marcus Jones. I mean, the coach for the team, Mike Vrabel, played linebacker, and he also played offense and caught 10 touchdown passes. So why not send the two-way player to the team with a history of two-way players? And they just flat out need stars. Like, if they could have 5 Travis Hunters, they would all play because they just need guys on offense, defense, wherever. They have Drake May. Now they need to just get best available player. He's the best available guy. Coming up at 5 is my first trade here. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars trade out of this spot. I think the Carolina Panthers trade up and they grab Mason Graham. And there was once upon a time where you didn't draft defensive interior guys the way you would edge rushers, right? You see it on offense where like guards don't go as high as tackles. But with the success of some of these schemes, with, obviously everyone knows Aaron Donald, but also the Eagles and the 49ers, the way they generate pass rush up the middle, I think defensive tackles are now at that kind of premium where if you have a guy that's as good and disruptive as Mason Graham, he can go top 5. And I think he does go top 5 to the Panthers. Number 6 here is a fun one, Las Vegas Raiders. And the Las Vegas Raiders GM said that his son, right? So John Spytek came out and said that his son said, if they don't take Ashton Genty here, then he's leaving the family. And I know he's joking, but I do think that taking Ashton Genty here is the smart move, right? Drafting for need or drafting based on, what's going to have the most impactful contract implications 4 years from now or 5 years from now when the, it's time to pick up the 5th year options. All that stuff is interesting and it is what it is. But first and foremost, you just need ballers. And this guy, to me, I mean, if you go and say that the top prospects ever at certain positions are an A+, like Saquon Barkley or Calvin Johnson, this guy is at least an A or an A-, in my opinion. And he's the guy that's locked in, and it is a position of need for this team. So I have Ashton Genty going to the Raiders. I think he should be a top 10 player. Number 7 here, I have another trade. I actually have the Jets trading out. I have the San Francisco 49ers trading in, and they're taking Armand Membo. I think that they need to beef up that offensive line, right? The defense is good. They lost pieces on offense, because they have to pay Brock Purdy, but they still have Kittle. They still have Ricky Pearsall. They still have Juwan Jennings. They still have Christian McCaffrey. They brought Kyle Juszczyk back. Brandon Ayuk will be back from injury. I think they need to work on that offensive line. I think this is a guy that can start right away at right tackle for them. And depending how he develops, maybe potential Trent Williams replacement, but at the very least, you have a guy that's going to be part of your unit for a long time. I think San Francisco trades up to get him. They don't mess around. Number 8, you have the Jaguars for me, because in my mock here, the Panthers traded up to 5. The Jaguars traded back. I have them taking Ted McMillan here, right? The wide receiver out of Arizona State. I know that people have been going back and forth on him. I think it's a bit of prospect fatigue at this point. I think he is the best wide receiver. I think he can play split end on the outside. And people might think it's a little controversial to have him go into the Jaguars here, but the Jaguars, they're trying to replicate the scheme from Tampa Bay. So they're going to have Brian Thomas Jr. in that Chris Godwin role, and Ted McMillan comes in and plays the Mike Evans role for Liam Cohen. And I think it's going to be really nice for Trevor Lawrence. It should be really nice for both wide receivers, just like it was really nice for Mike Evans and Chris Godwin there. So I think it's a good fit for him. I think they get him at a good price by trading back a little bit. Number 9, I have the New Orleans Saints staying put and selecting Jackson Dart. This guy's been getting a lot of steam in the post-combine, pre-draft months here. People seem to really like him. Some people don't like him, but I think the Saints have had multiple meetings with him. I think they do like him. Derek Carr will be the starter for now. And as we know, with a guy like Patrick Mahomes sitting behind Alex Smith, who is a professional, right? And in general, a good guy, which is what we believe Derek Carr to be, even if he's not a superstar, was good for his development. So I think it's a smart move for the Saints to get the QB of the future, even if Derek Carr is going to be the starter for now. Number 10, I have a perfect fit situation here. I know that very rare to see multiple running backs go in the first round, but Omarion Hampton at 6 foot 220 is the perfect David Montgomery role type guy for Ben Johnson to go along with DeAndre Swift, who will be in the Jahmyr Gibbs role. I know it's a bit of a luxury pick, but I mean, it's a perfect fit and it's a great running back class, maybe the best running back class since 2017. We'll have to see. I mean, that class was incredible with like Joe Mixon and Christian McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette and Aaron Jones and Alvin Kamara. I mean, now that I'm saying the names, maybe it's not that good, but it's probably the best since then. So Omarion Hampton, big dog, David Montgomery for Ben Johnson for the Bears. Next team here is the New York Jets for me because I had the 49ers trading up, the Jets trading back. And the reason I think the Jets can trade back here is I think they want to take a tight end. They let Tyler Conklin walk. They need pass catchers along with Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson. And there are two good tight ends in this class. Really good. I mean, there's a few really good ones, but two at the very top in Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland. I think that when you look at the teams above them, like if they trade with the 49ers, they're not taking a tight end because they have Kittle, right? The Saints just signed Juwan Johnson. I mean, like the Raiders already have Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. The odds of one of these teams taking one of those guys might not be super high, but even if they do, they can get the other one. That's why I think that, like, what are the odds that both these guys go top 10? It's possible, but I think that one of Warren or Loveland will be there for the Jets. They pick up some extra draft capital by moving back, and they get one of the guys that they want there. So Warren would be a good fit for them because this guy is just all over the field. He's a focal point, a main character. Anyone that watches this guy play, he's out there playing quarterback, he's playing inline, he's playing slot, he's playing wide receiver, he's doing it all. So Tyler Warren, immediate impact piece, great pick there for them. Number 12, everybody wants the Dallas Cowboys to make a big splash. I actually have them doing the opposite. We know once upon a time, everyone wanted them to take Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, and they took Zach Martin, and it proved to be one of the smartest moves. I think they do the same thing here. I think they stick at 12. They take Will Campbell, who, regardless of what do you think about how short or long his arms are, he's going to be a starting offensive lineman one way or another, whether it's at tackle, whether it's at guard. I mean, Zach Martin just retired. It's the easy pick for the Cowboys to make. It's not the flashy one. So I apologize to everybody that wants that Jerry Jones flashiness. They want him to trade up for Travis Hunter. I mean, that would be cool, obviously. And if that happens, I'll be excited. But I think that this is just a smart pick for them. Next pick, Miami Dolphins. I haven't taken Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan. And it's as simple as this. You got Jalen Ramsey. He's 30. After that, you don't really have much. You got to start planning. You need a CB2 that could become your CB1. And the way they operate, I don't think that they necessarily are a good fit for guys like Jahdae Barron. I think that they need like a guy with some length that can truly play on the outside. This guy's been comped to guys like Christian Gonzalez and JC Horn, which would obviously be great because he is like 6'2". So that's a good one there for them. At 14, Indianapolis Colts. I have them taking Colston Loveland. Just tired of them rotating tight ends for the last 4 years. They let Mo Alley Cox walk. They let Kylan Granson walk. They just need a guy at the top of the rotation. And then they even still have Drew Ogletree if they want to rotate a little bit. So Colston Loveland to the Colts, easy position of need, and 2 tight ends in the top 14 because tight ends are not hitting free agency. The best tight ends that hit free agency without being released, Johnny Smith and Evan Ingram were released, are guys like, the highest paid guys are guys like Josh Oliver and Luke Farrell and Will Disley. It's like if you want to get a tight end, you got to draft one and you got to pay up. That's a modern NFL here. Number 15, Atlanta Falcons. Sometimes a pick just falls right into your lap. That's absolutely perfect. I haven't taken Jalen Walker, and it's an edge player, which they need. Grady Jarrett obviously left, and he also went to Georgia, so the fans are going to like that one a lot. But it's not because he went to Georgia that he's being picked. That's just a nice little bonus there. Number 16, I have the Arizona Cardinals doing the smart thing, taking Kelvin Banks. We know Kyler Murray was getting the ball out of his hands very quickly, or he was scrambling away. Top 3 quarterback in passes under 2 seconds, or just running around, scrambling like crazy and breaking down plays. Bring in an offensive lineman, beef up the line, maybe see if you can get Kyler Murray to get through his reads and actually get to the second level, throw the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. I know it's a big ask, but improving the line is a good start towards getting that. Number 17, Cincinnati Bengals. I haven't taken Mike Green out of Marshall. I know there were some questions about his pass with Virginia and all that, but it's the Bengals. They're willing to take a shot here. They are loaded up on offense. D. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Mike Gesicki, all that. They need help on defense. Even if Trey Hendrickson's back, they need somebody on the other side. Mike Green can be that guy. Or if Hendrickson's gone, Mike Green's going to have to be the guy, right? At number 18, maybe a controversial move here for me. Let me know in the comments whether you think this is even possible. Trade in the division. I think the Seahawks trade out and the Rams trade up and they get Jahdae Barron. He's a very interesting guy because he's versatile. He can play corner, he can play safety, he can play nickel, he can do whatever you need. And the Rams always seem to like those guys, those like Swiss Army guys. Liz Snead does not care about picks, so trading up a huge number of picks to get the guy they want, that's exactly what this guy does. So I think that move is there, but maybe the Seahawks don't want to trade with him. We'll see. Number 19, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they just take Giad Campbell. This is another very versatile guy. He went to Alabama, and what happened was he had to play um, some off-ball linebacker because they had so many good edge rushers, guys like Will Anderson and all that. So he learned that, but he's still a good pass rusher. So it ended up being really good for him. I think it's going to be good for the Buccaneers. Number 20, this is one of my favorite picks. I really hope this happens, especially if you guys that play fantasy football. Denver Broncos taking Travion Henderson. We know Joe Lombardi has been top 5 every season that he's been a coach for any team, whether it's the Chargers, whether it's the Saints, whether it was the Lions, and of course the Broncos as well, in passes to the running back. Top 5 passes to the running back. Henderson would absolutely eat there. They have Sutton. They have Ingram. If they get Henderson, they'll have everything that they need for Bo Nix, in my opinion. Number 21, I have the Steelers staying put and taking Jalen Milroe. They met with him multiple times. They took him out to dinner before his pro day. Their quarterback right now is Mason Rudolph. Maybe Mason Rudolph even starts, but I know they like this guy. I think it's an interesting spot. They could trade back because, you know, the teams at the end of the first round don't really need quarterbacks, but then you run the risk of somebody stealing your guy. They don't pick again until 83. So if they don't take him here or they don't trade back, they're not taking him. Number 22, I have the Chargers taking Matthew Golden. There are other wide receivers. People in the comments are probably like, oh, Luther Burden, he's so much better. Luther Burden, though, has overlapping skill sets, in my opinion, with Lad McConkey. And I think that they already have kind of the slot taken care of. I think that Golden is what they don't have. They have the slot flanker in Lad McConkey. They've got the big guys and Mike Williams and Quentin Johnston. They need kind of a field stretching speedster guy. That's Matthew Golden out of Texas. I think he's a good fit there for the Chargers. Number 23, Green Bay Packers. I haven't taken just best available edge rusher Michael Williams. There's not much more than that. I think that there are other options there. I just think he's the perfect fit for what they do. And later on, they can take a big split end, just like people want them to take a wide receiver here, but they have Jaden Reed in the slot. And then the guys like Luther Burden and Emeka Ibuka, I mean, they do the same thing. So maybe later they take a Trey Harris or a Jaden Higgins and go that way. Number 24, I have the Vikings taking Malachi Starks. I know some people think that Nick Amanwari is the number 1 corner, but I think Starks just fits better with what they have now. So he can play nickel, like where Amanwari is more of a bruiser. He can play nickel and cover, and then as Harrison Smith, 36-year-old guy, goes off in the sunset, he takes over at free safety. So I think Starks is a good pick there. Houston Texans, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. Everyone says they're going to take Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. When everyone is saying the same thing, I tend to listen. So the rumors are saying Josh Simmons. I think Josh Simmons is a good pick. The Seahawks will be picking here with a big trade back from the Rams. People want them to take a wide receiver. Clint Kubiak uses a fullback and 2 wide receiver sets, so I don't think they're going to do that. Sorry to disappoint people. I think they just take Tyler Booker and to set up the run game for Clint Kubiak and Rick Dennison with that guard out of Alabama. 27, here you go. Everybody wants spicy fantasy football stuff. Here's one for you. I think that the Baltimore Ravens have been known to stick to their projections and their big board. And when there's not a guy there they like, they're always willing to trade out. I think the Titans trade back in. And this is where Luther Burden goes. And they get Cam Ward and they get Luther Burden and they have Calvin Ridley on the outside and they have Burden in the slot flanker. And now Cam Ward is in a position to step up right away. He's got Chigakonko, got some weapons over there instead of just Calvin Ridley. So that's a spicy one for all you guys. Let me know what you think. If you think that's good or bad for fantasy, if you like Burden or if you don't. Next one here, 28, Detroit Lions. I have them taking Donovan Ezruka. Sorry if I mispronounced that one. It's a tough one out of Boston College. He kind of got some steam late here as an edge. And Boston College always kind of has that one guy that comes out every once in a while and really is a star. And I think this is one of those guys here. And I think it fits well with the Detroit Lions. Zadarius Smith is gone, so he can step up and be the guy opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. Number 29, maybe a boring pick to some for the Commanders, but if you're a Commanders fan, getting offensive line is not boring. Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State immediately can make an impact on the interior O-line. Last 3 picks here, won't be very surprising to some people if you really think about the trend the league is going. Maybe surprising that I have all 3 of these teams kind of in lockstep here. I have the Buffalo Bills taking Derek Harmon, interior pass rusher. The Eagles got to Patrick Mahomes with their front 7. It's a copycat league. I think they're thinking that way. And in terms of copycat, I have the Kansas City Chiefs also taking an interior lineman with Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. I think once again they looked at what the Eagles did to them, and they say, hey, you know what? Let's do that as well. And maybe we'll also block the Eagles from getting their replacement for Milton Williams. But I also have the Eagles taking another interior defensive lineman. I have them taking the big dog, Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. That would give them a replacement for Milton Williams. He's much better in the run game, but they've been able to develop guys in the pass rush. So I have all 3 of these guys taking interior defensive lineman with the last 3 picks of the draft. Hey, maybe it's shocking, but shocking things happen all the time in the NFL draft. I know I said I'd get you out of here 10, 15 minutes. We're closer to 20, but I got a lot to say because there's a lot of great prospects this year. It's going to be an awesome draft for fantasy. The second and third round are going to be full of running backs and wide receivers. So maybe we'll get into just the fantasy elements of that. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Hit me up on Twitter at Coupe Fiasco, whether you like the mock draft, whether you don't. If you want to see all the picks on paper, it's for free over at Fantasy Alarm. You check out the mock draft there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm so fired up for the NFL draft, and we'll have all the coverage for that over at Fantasy Alarm.